Hershey Park is the self-proclaimed sweetest place on earth, and it's not hard to see why. The park is an icon of Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it features one of the country's largest roller coaster lineups with 14 different roller coasters. Plus, it also has several notable non-coasters that should not be missed. So in this video, I will count down the top 15 rides and attractions at Hershey Park. Plus, I will also highlight a few rides that were removed over the years that would have made the list had they still been operating. Kicking off this list at number 15 is the Wildcat. As long as you ride Wildcat in the front row, this is an okay GCI roller coaster. It was the prototype GCI. And up front, the ride has several decent pops of airtime, and it's not overly rough, which allows you to appreciate the demonically twisted layout. I actually prefer this coaster back when it ran the PTC trains because the airtime was wilder, but the Millennium Flyer trains definitely provide a smoother overall ride. Number 14, Breaker's Edge Water Coaster. The lone water park attraction making this list is the park's ProSlide Hydromagnetic Water Coaster. This water coaster maintains its speed well thanks to the quick magnetic launches and the saucer turns. However, it does not offer as much airtime as some of the other water coasters out there. You only get a single pop of airtime on the first drop. Nonetheless, it's still a fun slide. Number 13, Hershey's Triple Tower. Before the Reese's and Kisses Tower were toned down, this ride would have placed in the top 10. Originally, the two smaller towers delivered some frighteningly strong ejector airtime. Now they just provide solid pops of airtime. Oddly enough, the largest of the three is actually my least favorite, but I still enjoy the forceful launch and the floater airtime at the top, plus the great view in the Hershey's Tower. Up next would have been Reese's Extreme Cup Challenge, which has now been converted into Reese's Cup Fusion. The original iteration of this dark ride had really basic 2D targets. However, all the targets worked reliably, and it was a great reprieve from the heat. It just wasn't anything groundbreaking for a dark ride and relatively basic. Number 12, Coal Cracker. This is one of the few Aero Hydro flumes, and it's a solid ride. I love how it intertwines with Super Duper Looper and Great Bear, but the highlight is the climactic final plunge. It's quite steep for a flume, and there's this surprising little hump afterwards that gives a brief pop of airtime. Number 11, Laugh Track. This indoor Mauer spinning coaster doesn't have the best capacity, but it is an enjoyable ride. The first drop is extremely thrilling if you take it sideways or in reverse. The rest of the ride is heavily braked, but it does have a few spots where you can spin fairly quickly, and the blacklit effects in the show building provide some disorienting visuals too, since you're usually spinning or rotating. Number 10, Hershey's Chocolate Tour. While technically not in Hershey Park, it is in the adjacent Hershey's Chocolate World, which feels like it's part of the amusement park, which is why it's on this list. This is a lengthy dark ride covering all the steps that go into making Hershey's chocolate. While it isn't the actual factory, it is still a fun and educational ride that reminds me of the style of something you'd see at Epcot. Number 9, Super Duper Looper. The park's classic Schwarzkopf has a forceful and iconic vertical loop. The G's on this loop are fantastic. Beyond that, the ride isn't too wild, but I do like how it comes really close to Great Bear and how it weaves its way along the hillside. Up next would have been Canyon River Rapids. The park's now removed River Rapids ride was one of the best of the genre. This one was an absolute soaker, with many geysers and unavoidable waterfalls. I always came off this one drenched head to toe. The only downside is I do remember the water smelling a bit funky, but as a kid I didn't mind too much. Number 8, Reese's Cup Fusion. The 2019 update to the park's dark ride transformed this attraction from an average dark ride into a wonderful one. The ride now combines both screen-based targets and physical targets while telling a really goofy story. This is my favorite non-coaster at Hershey Park, and it complements the park's thrilling coasters quite well. Just beware this ride's putrid capacity. Number 7, Comet. The park's oldest operating coaster is still a joy. It is surprising how smooth this wood coaster is given its age, but Hershey takes incredibly good care of this ride. The ride has some great airtime on the first few drops in the back, but the second half is rather dull due to a really harsh trim break. I have a separate review that goes into more detail, but Comet is a classic at this park. Number 6. Lightning Racer. I gained a new appreciation for this wood coaster on my most recent visit. The ride itself is decent. The twisting layout has a few decent pops of airtime, and it's relatively smooth. What makes it special though is the racing element, especially if you can put half your party in the other train and race them. And I can't think of a time that Hershey hasn't had both sides running. It's really good to get those competitive juices flowing. Number 5. Fahrenheit. This is an odd Intamin looping coaster that seems to take elements from Gerstlauer Eurofighters. This ride features a vertical lift hill and an intense ejector airtime filled beyond vertical drop. It's one of my favorite drops out there. After that, Fahrenheit has a few other great elements like the Norwegian loop, 2 ridiculously fast corkscrews, and a powerful ejector airtime filled bunny hill. Fahrenheit does a little bit of everything, and it's a ride I talk about more in a separate review. Number 4. Great Bear. This Balger-Mabillard inverted coaster has a really unique layout. Most inverts are contained within themselves, but Great Bear travels along a really narrow strip between several rides. I love the forceful helix at the start, and it's neat how you whiz past the pathways and over the creek. As for the inversions, they're top-notch too. The vertical loop piles on the positive G's, and then both the zero G-roll and final corkscrew are super snappy elements that will wreck your sense of direction. Plus, this ride is glass smooth with no hint of a rattle. Number 3. Storm Runner. The park's launch coaster is the best Intamin accelerator coaster in North America. I love the powerful launch. It always causes my stomach to drop from its intensity. And unlike most of the other accelerator coasters, Storm Runner provides a full layout. The ride is still short because of how fast you take the layout, but I love the elements. The ride features an airtime-filled top hat and some solid inversions, most notably the super disorienting flying snake dive as you rocket your way through Pioneer Frontier. Number 2. Candymonium. The park's newest coaster is arguably their most popular. This Balger-Mabillard hypercoaster is an immaculately smooth ride with some wonderful and sustained floater airtime on almost every hill. And compared to the other B&M hypers, the airtime is a bit stronger in the first half. Plus, Candymonium has some great pacing because it doesn't have a mid-course trim like most of the other B&M hypers. Plus, you have that picturesque fountain at the end of the ride that creates some great visuals. I have a separate review going into more detail, but I really love Candymonium. And coming in at number 1 is Skyrush. This is arguably the most intense roller coaster in the United States, and this Intamin creation is downright insane. The ejector airtime on the ride's first drop in Camelbacks is among the strongest of any coaster. It truly feels like Skyrush wants to separate your legs from your torso. Then the coaster also mixes in several moments of strong positive G's and some wicked laterals in the Stengel dives. The restraints are tight for sure, but it's a necessity given how extreme this ride is. This is a top 10 coaster for me for the reasons I go into in a separate review, but I can understand why the intensity or restraints could make this ride not your favorite. So those are my top 10 favorite rides at Hershey Park, plus a few bonus cameos from defunct rides I rode previously. What are your favorite rides at Hershey Park? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.